What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed the workout. I sure did. That was a really good one. It's been too long. How's everyone doing? Hi. Wagwan. What's up? How are you? Don't forget to link me up. We gotta talk about Low Man Ethan. Guys, it's so beautiful outside today. Beautiful day to be out. And so, we just here.
We're back.
Yo, we are back, guys. All refreshed now. Got some water in me. Whew. So you're back in Sweden. How long have you been there so far? How long have you been there since you went there?
So I'm trying to think when everything kind of after we had players who had corona.
Mm-hmm.
We all were tested pretty frequently, and then if we had a few negative tests, we were able to leave. So that must have been. I must have come here at the beginning of July.
Oh, so you've been there for a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been there for a minute. All right. Well, guys, this is Allie. If you don't know her, she's a legend. So tell us a little bit about you, for the people that don't know who you are, where you're from, where you grew up. A little history.
Well, it's a pretty crazy history, but I'm from Los Angeles, born and raised, but my dad is a Kiwi.
Mm-hmm.
So I played for the New Zealand national team. I went to Stanford, got drafted to play in the WPS. The league folded, headed over to Sweden. I was here for 6.5 years, went over to Chelsea, then to Bayern Munich, and then Mark Skinner called me and said, what do you think about coming back to the NWSL? And it just felt like the right time. Ended up not being the right time because Corona came. However, the team there, the club, just welcomed me with open arms. The short time I had there, I loved it. I really hope to be able to continue playing there when we're able to. But for now, I'm loaned out to Rosengård, my old club, and it's just so nice to be playing here again. And of course, the Olympics, we're also looking forward to that. That got postponed, but we did get the bid for the 2023 World Cup. So that is something that I'm so looking forward to in New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting 3 years.
That was huge. That's a big moment. For a country like New Zealand.
It can change everything for women's soccer in New Zealand, and we need it. We need to move forward. So I really hope the next 3 years we can really push. So it's the best World Cup ever, and then we'll inspire so many little girls to start playing and take our team to new heights as well.
Yeah. So you grew up in LA, went to Stanford. Talk to us a little bit about your experience at Stanford. Did you win a national title there?
We came second my senior year to North Carolina. And those girls, you just keep running into them. The Ava Bushes, the Ashlyn Harrises, the Tobin Heath, these girls who just have won and won and won. but I am proud to say that they have won since then. But no,
Yes.
that was the closest the team had come while I was there, and this was with Kelly O'Hara and Kristen Press, and we were undefeated the entire season, and then we lost in the final my senior year.
Wow, wow, that is crazy. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have had like some amazing players coming out of Stanford,
Yeah.
and so so for you going from playing for Stanford and playing with Kristen and with all these amazing female athletes for the U.S. national team, what was it like playing against them when you got to the national team?
Oh, it's always a very strange feeling. I think I've gotten a little bit more used to it now that I've been playing for New Zealand for 13 years.
Wow.
But in the beginning, you know, and always playing in the US and with friends and family watching, and they're like, well, we want the US to win, but like, we love you. And it's like, cool. But no, it's always really hard to play the US. I mean, just because, you know, it's my friends, but also because they're so damn good. And I think we have the closest we've gotten. I don't know. We may have tied, but no, we have never beat them. And it's always at this point though. Now it's kind of fun because I get to see my friends. And when I was
Yeah.
playing in Europe, that
Mm-hmm.
was my only opportunity. Someone like Kelly O'Hara that I
Right.
went to school with played pro the first season with in the Bay Area, and then we never get to see each other unless we're playing each other. So there is kind of that silver lining.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's always exciting, like that little banter to like when you play against them, and but that's fun. So you say you spent 6 years in Sweden before going
To
to
Chelsea.
So what was the transition like? Leaving your family and then going to Sweden. I mean, you're still young at that time, and it's like you go from going from being California all the way to Sweden across the world. Like, what was that experience like?
It was tough. I'm an only child as well, so I definitely missed my parents, and I knew that they missed me. But I think playing for the New Zealand national team gave me that confidence to go and play in another country, since I'd been doing that since my senior year of high school with the national team. But
Oh wow!
it was a completely different world. The expectation in terms of tactical understanding, technical ability, I got a really long way being able to run fast and run a lot and just pump balls into the box. And then when you have Marta, Christine Sinclair, and Alex Morgan there to finish,
Yeah.
usually you score. So coming over here, I think I had to develop really quickly, and that helped me for the national team. It helped with my confidence, and yeah, but definitely it was hard not knowing the language, being away from everyone I knew. I didn't know anyone on the team. So I think it's something though that I'm so glad I did, and it's what I would encourage anyone who's growing up in the US, to play in the US now is not the only option, and there's some amazing leagues all over the world. I mean, we're watching Champions League, the semifinal last night, the semifinal tonight, and to have that experience to play in Champions League, to be in Europe, to learn about different cultures, I think that's so important. And it's really cool now that I think there's a new kind of identity as the professional women's soccer player. You don't necessarily have to play for a national team. You can make a living, you can have sponsors, you can really build your brand, and you can go really far being a professional female athlete. And that was not true 10 years ago. So I'm really happy at how far the game has come. And of course, making the US national team for every American little girl who plays soccer is the dream, and it should be. But there's so many different ways to kind of achieve your dreams. And especially in this day and age, and hopefully continuing in the future, to know that there's a whole world out there, especially in Europe, where you can really, really reach your goals and become an amazing player is so cool.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can see like the competition before. I mean, you could like the U.S. the U.S. women's national team was always dominating within every game, and now you can see the competition level is like the gap is closing. The gap is closing, and you can see a lot of other teams are now competing, and games are a little bit harder for the women's national team. I mean, going to the last World Cup. I mean, they were looked upon. That, I mean, it was like a chip on the shoulder for them because a lot of good teams were out there, and people were talking about how they may not win the World Cup, and because a lot of teams are now competing. It's amazing to see that. And it's great to see the women's game evolving. It's getting better every day, and I mean, like you said, Champions League is happening. We need more women, younger women to start watching the game a lot more. I mean, I'm sure they don't know. A lot of the young girls don't know about Women's Champions League.
Right.
And so we need more of that to happen. We need to see more girls watching the game as well, and not just watching when the U.S. Women's National Team play.
Mm-hmm.
And so you played at Chelsea. What was that like going from playing at Stanford and going to a big name club like Chelsea? What was that like?
It was such an amazing experience, and I still have a great relationship with a lot of the girls. And I think the thing that really impressed me was the investment in the women's game in England, and particularly at Chelsea. The media team, I always give them a shout out because it's the most amazing professional media exposure in the women's game. I'm 100% sure. And that elevates the players. And like you say, that players, we want little girls to be watching football. Well, we want everyone to be watching women's football.
Right.
But they can't watch it and they can't get to know the players unless we're being
everywhere,
put on TV, unless we're being promoted, unless they're able to be exposed to that. And that's something that you see the big clubs are doing really well now. And just the facilities, the level of talent on the team. We didn't have the best season, but it was mind-blowing. It was so cool, and it just was so great to get to experience that, because I think in my generation, I'm 32, and a lot of the players that when I grew up who were one generation, a couple years older than me, have retired and haven't gotten to experience where the game is today. Like the World Cup last year, the level of attention, media attention, the number of tickets sold, the people watching around the world, that was never like that before. And I think I saw firsthand at Chelsea why it's starting to get better, because there's a club and especially a hardworking, staff who really, really made sure that we would be respected and play a style that people were excited about. And I mean, when you have that level of talent, it's like the soccer is so exciting to watch. So I think the Women's Super League, especially, you're seeing who's heading over there right now. And again,
there's some big names heading into England this year. Oh my
goodness. Exactly, as they should. And the games, you can see the games for free every single game. And so that's why it's going to keep rolling and keep getting better and bigger. So it was an incredible experience. And same with at Bayern, just kind of that level, that club, that huge name, a brand, a global brand. It's something else, and I just hope that more and more clubs start they have the money. So there's
for sure, 100%.
Start putting some of that into the women's side. These big clubs, Liverpool's women's team getting relegated, that should never happen, So I think there's no excuse anymore. And these big clubs, and you see the MLS doing it in the NWSL as well. The tournament was successful. First team back after Corona.
Yes.
There's a reason people are investing money and energy into women's sport, and it's about time.
100%. I mean, you would never know if something's gonna work unless you invest into it. And so I love the fact that women's soccer has been invested in. I mean, you see the women's national team they're producing, and so it's like it's time that their people start investing into the women's league. So especially, was it Chelsea that you first played Champions League? Was that Bayern?
No, my team in Sweden, we've played every year in Champions League.
Oh, you played every year? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like we hear about Champions League. What is Champions League like on the women's end for you? What was that experience like playing Champions League?
It's so cool because I think when you play for the national team, you know, that's one of the most exciting parts is being able to travel around the world, experience different cultures, play teams that play different styles. And, you know, it's not just that daily grind. It's something really exciting and special when you travel, play home and away. And so in the club, in the professional game, that's the closest you get to that kind of international experience and the excitement, the fans, you know, people come out because it's one or two teams per, you know, league and country who have this moment to really celebrate the women's game. And especially, I mean, I went to Iceland, you know, and Russia and got to play these teams in Italy, Prague, Budapest, just, yeah, incredible.
Wow.
And then with Chelsea, you know, we ended up making it to the semifinal, and I think you just really could see, I love seeing in the different countries the excitement around the women's game. So, and that's what gives you hope that, like, there is a demand, you know. And then the next step is that it's not just everyone comes out for Champions League, but is following their team week in and week out. But I think it's really cool to see. And I mean, the level yesterday watching Barcelona, the style they played compared to maybe when they were in the final a year ago, like you say, the gaps are closing, clubs are finally investing, and the game is so exciting and the players are so good. So Champions League, I think when you play, at least in Europe, the US League is a little bit shorter, but when you play in Europe, you know, you're playing basically for 11 months.
Yeah.
You're playing each team twice, you know, and it's back and forth, and you have these rivalries, and then you get this kind of new burst of energy when you get to go and play this team, and the home and away as well. It's just, that's what you grow up watching when you watch the men, and it's like, we also do that.
That's exciting. That's definitely exciting. I mean, I really wish that, you know, we could watch it. I mean, I follow the you know, everything else on Twitter and Instagram, the scores and all that stuff. But it's like, you know, it'll be nice to be able to watch it the same way when the national team's playing. It should only be in that when national team games are on, and then we're able to just watch it. So with everything, so you're in Orlando when we're gonna switch things now. So when you're in Orlando, the whole Black Lives Matter thing happened.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? I mean, you've played everywhere. You've played with literally almost everyone from different background, different race, different economics. I mean, what was that like for you experiencing that in Orlando?
I feel so lucky to have been in the NWSL and in the country when this was happening. Obviously what's going on in our country is not good, but to actually be there and be exposed to it and have my teammates tell me their stories and basically realize that I have had so much and had to come to terms with was the idea of, you know, when you're friends with people from all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities and races, and you're like, oh, but, you know, so we don't have to think about race because they're my friend. I don't think about that. But part of being their friend is to acknowledge their race. It's the same with me. I haven't really talked about being half Chinese. It's something that I never really addressed, but it actually had me look at myself, my background, my family, and just realize that our country is in a place where I need to be doing everything I can to help Black voices be heard, Black businesses, my friends, my teammates, and just, I mean, it was so eye-opening for me, and it was shocking, and it was hard. I think part of it was uncomfortable.
Right.
And I think that's the whole point, is that we have to start getting uncomfortable if we're going to affect change.
Right. 100%.
And the Black Lives Matter movement, you know, it's up to us who have had this privilege to help. And it's kind of hard knowing what to do. And I know when it all started happening and going to the protests, and then with Corona happening, and knowing, you know, how to get involved. But, you know, we went and protested, and I thought that was so important. And yeah, I think it was just, well, I mean, things are still happening, but so important that athletes and public figures are using their social media platforms. Again, it's not a lot of engaging personally that we can do during Corona, but for my teammates and my colleagues in the sporting world and other celebrities to be posting so much, and not just posting, I know there was a whole thing about just posting a black square, but what are you actually doing? But I actually think that so many about how to donate, how to protest, who to email, who to call, you know, actually how to take action. And I was pretty lost when everything started happening. But through social media, you know, social media can be a very scary place. But
Yes.
in this case, it actually, I think, was pretty beautiful because,
Yeah.
and now being in Sweden, when I do feel too removed, I want to be active, I want to be involved. I'm reading books, but, you know, I want to be doing something, and seeing my counterparts, you know, in the US posting what I can do, it really helps.
Right,
And
right.
I think I want this to be something that we don't just talk about this month or next month. We have to keep posting. We have to keep talking about it, keep being uncomfortable, keep remembering when can I use my white privilege to help someone.
Right.
And I really hope as a community, both as an NWSL, as a sporting community, but just, you know, everyone who wants to affect change, that we keep pushing and keep talking about this until, I mean, we have a huge presidential election coming up. Get out there and vote. And as athletes with these platforms, I think it's our responsibility to try to affect change.
100%. I mean, I totally agree. You literally hit the nail on that one when you said uncomfortable, right? So like, I've always said it, it's like, it is time that we start having these uncomfortable conversations, because if we don't have these uncomfortable conversations, we're not going to be moving forward. We're not going to move forward because we still have the same problem. Over 5 months ago, Breonna Taylor was murdered. Still nothing. George Floyd, over almost 6 months ago. And then, Sunday,
Yeah.
another incident happened. And it's like, how do we go from George Floyd to Breonna Taylor to now this happening Sunday? And it's like, it was like just mind blowing that we still are facing this problem. It is still happening. I mean, I woke up on Monday morning getting ready for training, and usually I just, like, you know, when I wake up, I just sit in bed and just scroll a little bit on Instagram, and I saw this video, and it's like blocked out, and I'm like, Wilfred, don't open it. Don't look at it. Don't look at it. Don't open it. And then I'm like, all right, no, I'm gonna open it. I opened it, and the moment that I opened it, I knew it. I knew that I had made a mistake that morning watching that, because my breakfast was ruined. I could barely eat breakfast. I literally ate half of it and just threw it away. So I'm staying with this family, and I showed this to the mom, and she was just like her morning was like, she was really happy, like really bubbly. She's always loved giving hugs in the morning, and it's just like probably like the best thing of my day. Like, and then as soon as she saw that, her morning too was ruined. She couldn't believe it. It was like really quiet and really silent for like a good bit, like for at least 10-15 minutes while I was eating. And then as I'm getting ready to walk out, she gave me a hug, and like I'm like, a part of me like was like holding back the tears. Left the house, got in my car. I'm driving, and I just literally just found myself just like bawling out with tears. I'm like crying, and then it's just like I could literally feel the pain of this guy, because he's 29, I'm 24. My brother, I think my brother is like close to his age, and so it's like, and then he has a 3-year-old son. And I think one of the guys, because he have three boys, and like literally, I'm just like, wow, that's me. I could literally picture myself, and it was so scary, and it's just like, why do I have to fear for my life every day, walking out, and it's just like every day it's like fear. It's like fear. Am I gonna make it back home safe? Am I gonna get back home? Am I gonna say hi to my loved ones again? And it's really saddening that Black people have to go through this every day, and people still don't get it.
Yeah.
They still don't understand. They still don't understand why people are kneeling during the national anthem. They still don't understand why people are protesting, and they continue to talk about Blue Lives Matter and all that. It's like, Blue Lives is just a job, right? It's not a person. It's a job. You just put it on. That person gets to put on that blue uniform for a couple of hours. I get to wear this 24 hours a day, every day of my life, you know? And so it's really sad that that we have to go through it. And it's really sad that people don't want to have these uncomfortable conversations, right? And I love the fact that you said that you're educating yourself, and the fact that you're in Sweden, and you feel a little bit distant, and you social media is a way that you can feel a little bit closer to it because you have friends that are posting about it and that are saying things, and yeah, 100% agree that yeah, we need to vote. Definitely got to vote this year, and we got to continue to have conversations with people. We got to continue to read, to educate ourselves, because I mean, there's still a lot of things out there that I don't know about, and I'm still trying to educate myself on. And I really appreciate you for you standing with us and realizing that yes, I need to use my privilege to bring awareness to what's happening, and that's the biggest thing, and that is literally all that we, the Black community, can ask for, is that people with their white privilege use their platform, use their privilege to bring awareness. Because for the longest time, we've been crying for help, and nobody's listening. And so when you guys start speaking up, it's like, all right, well, we got people with us, we got support, and thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me and also being so honest and sharing your story. And I think that's so important, again, to hear just that you are afraid just because of the color of your skin and what can happen to you, and will you come home? I mean,
Yeah.
that speaks volumes. That is so devastating, and it really shows that we need to change things. It's not just being sad, you know, from the outside and scared. No, I need to look in. Is it a matter of defunding the police? Is it a matter of changing the programs they have? There are steps that we can take, and we need to make people listen.
Right. Nah, for sure, 100%. You know, we're blessed with this platform that we've been given. Yeah, I mean, I tell people, I mean, it's amazing that it's amazing that we have this talent and we have this platform, but if you don't do if you're not using that platform, then you might as well give it up to somebody else, because you can't have it and then just sit back and just watch, because you're just as guilty as if you're just sitting back and watching. And so
I agree.
But thank you so much for coming on. It's been fun. Love the workout. Love the conversation. And like I said, I'm a big fan. And I've watched you play for a couple of times now. And I'm just excited that we're able to do this. And enjoy your time in Sweden.
Thank you.
And yeah, have a great rest of your day. And tell your mom to go do that workout.
I will. I think that's maybe a little bit advanced, but
we can. I'm sure she'll find a way. I'm sure she'll find a way. But enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too.
All right. See you, Ali.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining in. I'm so happy to be back, guys. It's been crazy couple of weeks with me. personal stuff, but I'll keep you guys posted. Make sure you follow Ali's and I social media, and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday and the rest of your week. Stay blessed. Much love, guys. Bye.